Good afternoon. My name is Miki Katsuyama Novitsky, and I am the co-chairperson for the 54th Annual Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival. As most of you may have heard last weekend and also seen on our website, our festival's theme this year is Kizuna, Strength Through Bonds of Community and Friendship. We'd like to start off with a short teaser of the special festival presentation to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Great East Japan earthquake, which devastated Japan's Tohoku region a decade ago. We will be formally presenting the feature video on Saturday, May 1st, 2021. Here, this is this year's festival's special presentation.
Ten years ago, on March 11th, 2011, a 9.0 magnitude earthquake hit Tohoku, Japan. The tsunami waves reached heights of 132 feet, traveling up to 6 miles inland.
I was watching live coverage on TV, and I saw a helicopter shot of tsunami hitting the coastal Miyagi, and it was very much a horrific scene.
This year, in 2021, the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival remembers the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami with a video documentary interviewing the people from Japan and the Japanese American Bay Area community.
You know, one of the things that I think it's been really amazing with the San Francisco Bay Area community and and in particular with the Japantown areas that we have here, the communities, is there is this sense of wanting to help when there's a crisis.
So it was the 6 of us representing Nakayoshi young professionals and just trying to bring some hope to Megumi, Japan in Ishinomaki.
For 5 years, we did a yearly Noodles for Nippon fundraiser where we sold all-you-can-eat udon bowl tickets, and lots of community members came through.
You will hear stories and recollections of the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, along with how the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival and people from our Japanese American community came together and helped the people of Tohoku recover from this natural disaster, thus creating bonds and connections, Kizuna, that will last forever.
At this time, we would like to have a moment of silence to remember those who had perished during this tragic event and our community members who have passed on during these past 2 years. Thank you. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you our MC for the second weekend of the 54th Annual Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival, and KTVU Fox 2 News reporter, Ms. Jana Katsuyama. And welcome, good afternoon, everyone. Konnichiwa. Thank you so much for joining us for this 54th Annual Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival. My name is Jana Katsuyama. I'm a reporter here in the Bay Area for KTVU, Fox 2, the 10 o'clock news. And I am just so delighted that we are able to gather, even if it is virtually, to be able to celebrate this wonderful tradition that we have here in Northern California. If you're joining us on Zoom, Facebook, or YouTube, we have a great team who are keeping an eye on the social media sites. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put it into the Q&A, and we'll do everything we can to try and make sure that this is a smooth and really enjoyable experience for you as we start this second week of the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival. Now, to start us off this weekend, we have some students from the George Washington and Lowell High Schools located here in San Francisco, California. They are members of their high school's Japanese National Honor Societies, which are the clubs at their respective schools that explore Japanese culture and history in San Francisco. And they engage in the community, doing wonderful volunteer work in all areas of San Francisco. So let's see what they have been up to start us off in the festival, looking at this past year.
Hello everyone, please enjoy this presentation about Japanese food, art, and music made by students from George Washington and Lowell High School.
Hello, today we will be making mochi. For the dough, I'm mixing 3/4 cup of mochiko and 1/4 cup of sugar into a bowl.
Then we mix in 3/4 cups of water.
Now I'm cooking it in a microwave for 1 minute.
After 1 minute, pull out of the microwave and stir. Then put it back into the microwave for another minute and 30 seconds.
For my filling, I am making a daifuku rendition of sanshoku, or three-colored dango, a traditional cherry blossom viewing snack. I prepared white bean paste balls in 3 colors by mixing some with crushed freeze-dried strawberries and some with matcha.
I will be making Ichigo Daifuku, which is mochi filled with strawberries and homemade anko, sweet red bean paste. The fresh strawberries are perfect to eat in the springtime.
I'm going to be making isobeyaki, which is a grilled type of mochi. First, I air fried it and then I dipped it in a mixture of soy sauce and sugar and wrapped it in nori.
For my mochi, I'll be stuffing it with ice cream. The ice cream mochi has been a pretty popular dessert in America. Also, when you're working with ice cream, be sure to work fast and that your ice cream has been in the freezer for a while. After, put it back into the freezer to let the ice cream refreeze. After a while, pull it out. Now you have a delicious frozen treat.
Wow, what a fun way to spend time at home and collaborate with your friends. Thank you so much to the students over at Washington and Lowell here in San Francisco. It's a great way to start off this Cherry Blossom Festival. And we wanted to say thank you to the people who are tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, or we also understand through Zoom. Ernesto is joining us from the East Bay, Steve from Pacifica, and Mark from San Jose. Thanks for keying in some little shout outs. And you know, it happens every year in San Francisco, but this really is the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival, drawing in from all over the region. And it's great that you're able to be here and participate with us today. Now, one of the things when people often think about cherry blossoms and the springtime are all of the beautiful flowers that we're starting to see. And of course, in Japanese culture, that is an art form. So we'd like to turn now to this beautiful art of ikebana and have a presentation from the Ikebana Teachers Federation. Now, ikebana, or Japanese flower arrangement, is a cultural art form that dates back to the 12th century. There are so many different schools, too, you may not realize, of flower arranging. And each of the schools of ikebana emphasize their unique philosophy and their design concepts. And the demonstration includes the 4 largest schools of ikebana that we are blessed to have right here in the Bay Area. They are the largest schools, the Ikenobo, Ohara, Sogetsu, and Wafu. And each demonstrator will give a brief introduction of his or her school of ikebana and help to explain the significance of the actual materials that are used in his or her design.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandra Hatcher and I'm honored to be here as part of the San Francisco Cherry Blossom Festival. I study Ikenobo Ikebana and I'm very honored to study with my sensei, Diego Takeda. The Ikenobo School of Ikebana has 3 styles of arrangements: Shoka, Freestyle, and Rika. Ikenobo has a long history and is considered the origin of ikebana. So the first recorded articles were from 1462. The original style was the style that I created today, the Rika style. And Rika has 2 forms, a very contemporary form called Rika Shimputai and a more traditional form called Rika Shofutai. And today I've elected to create a Rika Shofutai. Since it is the Cherry Blossom Festival, I was hoping to arrange with cherry blossoms. However, here in Sacramento, where I live, cherry is not blooming, so I'm substituting today with my blooming plum, and I'm hoping that it still gives a feeling of warmth and a feeling of spring. So this is a Rika Shofutai. And traditionally, it was designed to create a landscape. So generally, it has high areas that represent mountains, lower areas that represent a village, in, down, through the city. And we arrange with different types of material to emphasize that. This particular arrangement was created with plum, iris leaves, dried plum branches, to add strength to the arrangement, iris, myrtle, freesia, iris leaves, and then fern in the front. I hope you enjoy my Rika Shofutai and have a wonderful cherry blossom celebration. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Happy Cherry Blossom Festival to you all. My name is Suirio Yoshiko Gili. I'm with the Ohara School of Ikebana, Northern California chapter. I've been studying Ohara Ikebana for the last 32 years under Mrs. Suiyo Fujimoto. Ohara School was founded in the late 19th century by Unshin Ohara. Today, the headquarters is in Tokyo, Japan, and Hiroki Ohara is the 5th generation headmaster. Our chapter was founded in May 1964. We have about 50 members, and our chapter president is Mitsuko Maruyama. Please visit our website at oharaikebana.norcal.org for more information. For Cherry Blossom Festival, I wanted to use the cherry blossom branches for my arrangement. Now, please keep in mind, it's mid-February now, and you are viewing this program in April. In April, I'm sure that the cherry blossom is fully blooming. I was happy to learn that the cherry blossom branches were available at one of the wholesale stores, but sadly, they were in tight bud form. What you see here is after 6 days of warm water soaking to try to defy the nature to open up the buds. As you could see, I didn't get the desired outcome. The arrangement is Heika, rising style. The material used are cherry blossom branches, fringed iris, and castor bean. As you view my arrangement, please picture in your mind bright and cheerful cherry blossoms on these branches. Before closing, I'd like to thank Mrs. Suiyo Fujimoto and Suiko Mitsuko Maruyama for their assistance in today's presentation. Thank you.
And I'm representing the Sogetsu School. I would like to thank the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival Committee, Ikebana Teachers Federation, Sogetsu San Francisco Branch, and my sensei, Joan Yusui Suzuki. In 1927, when most believed that practicing Ikebana meant using established forms, Sofu Teshigahara recognized Ikebana as a creative art and established the Sogetsu School. He believed that anyone can enjoy Sogetsu Ikebana anytime, anywhere, and using any material. In the past, Ikebana arrangements were placed in a tokonoma, which was a recessed alcove in a Japanese-style reception room. Today, with Sogetsu Ikebana, you can place your arrangement in the entryway to your home, in your living room, even on your kitchen table. And Sofu Teshigahara elevated Ikebana by creating large-scale Ikebana arrangements for hotel lobbies, banquet halls, and outdoor spaces. Sogetsu Ikebana can enhance any atmosphere, whether it's Japanese or Western style. Today, with my arrangement, I've used quince branches. Unfortunately, at the time of filming, cherry blossoms weren't available. I've cut these branches in a manner so that you can see these unique angles and shapes. Along with the quince branches, I've used iris leaves for color and also for depth. And then I've used bamboo on the side here. Now, bamboo is a traditional Japanese Ikebana material. And today I've removed all of the leaves and I've left the branches long. And with these long branches, I'm now able to insert the long branch into the container. And you'll notice that I've left the stem very short. And by doing this, these stems you can see are in mid-air. And this is an example of how Sogetsu Ikebana uses a traditional material in a very unconventional way. I hope you've enjoyed my arrangement today, and please stay safe during these uncertain times. I hope to see you all at next year's Cherry Blossom Festival. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lena Hoko Pavlovskaya, and I'll be very happy to demonstrate Wafu Ikebana arrangement for you today. Ikebana takes roots in deep and profound connection a man has with the nature. Plants and flowers are living things seen all around us, gathered by us and arranged by us to enhance their beauty, to renew our bond with the nature, and to enjoy them with the others. For my work today, I'm going to use this beautiful wood firing container by Mr. Thomas Arakawa. It has triangle opening, which is slightly unusual and is going to be a bit of a good challenge. Each plant and each flower used in Ikebana has its own distinctive beauty. When we arrange them in accordance with their natural qualities and the season, we enhance their meaning even more. For example, when I think of a year past, nature can say it so perfectly. Pine, nobility and endurance. Plum blossoms, purity of heart. Roses, joy of life and hope for the future. My first branch today is this very elegant and graceful pine branch. To emphasize its elegant curve, I am going to use it in spreading pattern, almost cascading. To create a vertical support for a branch in a tall container, we're going to use the stick. We measure the stick length as the width of the container, cut it 45 degrees, and split the stick like this. Our vertical support is now complete, and we're inserting the branch. To get a secure purchase on the container walls, all materials in neck area have to be cut 45 degrees. Adding camellia leaves for the density in the lower part. Adding splash of color. And now we're ready for the roses. Roses for position number 4 and for focal point, and this is the last rose for the depth. Our arrangement is now complete. Thank you very much. Enjoy the spring and enjoy the flowers.
And our thanks to the Ikebana Teachers Federation. Arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you for those wonderful, beautiful demonstrations. Well, when we think of Japanese culture, another very important element we think of is the calligraphy, or shodo. And you can see our special presentation in the logo of Kizuna, which is the theme of this year's festival. We are so glad to have all of you joining us for this. I did want to mention a shout out to Mai on YouTube and Doreen, who's joining us on Zoom. Thank you both for coming in, both different ways, but the technology is bringing us all together here. And, you know, as we were saying, the theme here, Kizuna, that we will keep mentioning throughout the festival, the calligraphy was done specially for this event. And many of you might know the word in Japanese for the art of calligraphy is shodo, or also called shuji. And it's a form of calligraphy or artistic writing for the Japanese characters. Now, the USA Shoyukai showcases the expressiveness and the beautiful charm of writing words in kanji and hiragana through education, demonstrations, and active participation of various events and festivals. They really hope to build some interest among the next generation in this beautiful art form. So this is going to be a presentation of calligraphy, an exhibition for seniors, parents, and also children. So please enjoy. such beautiful work. And we hope maybe next year we'll be back here in Japantown for a real festival where you can actually have your name written or see some of this in action in person. Well, speaking of kanji characters, this year's official festival poster, designed by Selena Jo, was inspired by San Francisco Japantown's own Reverend Masato Kawahatsu's freehand kanji of Kizuna. And for more information about the poster, we'd like to invite you to visit our website. People are putting up on the chat, our tech team, but that's nccbf.org. And you can search in the blog section to see the Meet the Artist tab to get more information. And we hope you will certainly look at that. We want to thank Doug, who is tuning in with us from Sacramento, as well as Jin Da from New York City. Welcome to the West Coast time and our celebration. Tuning in for the second weekend in a row. And so is Joni. Joni, thank you for tuning in from Southern California. And our tech team says they also are seeing a Mike Inoue, who is joining us. Mike did, of course, the first day of the festival, and I'm doing my best to fill your geta. So tough act to follow, but thank you so much for joining us, all of you, and my JA brother, Mike Inoue. I'm going to give a shout out to you. Well, when we talk about community, oftentimes we are also thinking about what kinds of things younger generations can learn and bring into the community. And one of the big organizations here in Japantown that we love so much is in scouting. Boys and girls start with their best right now selves, and then they grow into their very best future selves. And Pack and Troop 58 in San Francisco, Japantown, is housed at the Konko Church of San Francisco. And they are so present at so many of the events here in the community. Their participation in the festival's various events really adds that spark of youthful energy, and we so appreciate them. So we hope that they will join us again next year when we are in person. But for now, please, a virtual round of applause and welcome for Pack and Troop 58. That was so great. Did you see them carrying that mikoshi, doing the washoi? That, let me tell you, is not an easy task, especially if you're doing it in Japantown with the hills, carrying that. So bravo, and thank you so much to Pack and Troop 58 for sharing a little glimpse into all of the different events that you have done for our community. Well, the San Francisco Japantown community also supports the Nihon Machi Little Friends preschool and after-school programs. That's kindergarten through 5th grade. And we'd like to invite you to enjoy their performance that reflects their images of the past, the present, and the future.
I have a dream. Will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And our thanks to all of those energetic masked dancers with Nihon Machi Little Friends. Thank you so much for sharing that video with us for this virtual festival. Now, at this time, we'd really like to acknowledge the festival's many arts and crafts vendors who would typically be joining us in the Buchanan Mall over the festival weekends. You always see their tents with all of the beautiful things that they have on display. And although we're unable to host them in person, you can still support them and purchase their items through our arts and crafts virtual marketplace. We have that on our website, the nccbf.org. You can see in the chats, our tech team is putting that in for you. And you'll find a directory to all of our artisans as well as their links on their online shops and social media outlets. Just go to that place, and we've tried to make it easy for you to support all of them. Now we have a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to the study of Japanese swords, the art and the history. So please join me in learning more about the Northern California Japanese Sword Club.
Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco and Oakland, the Northern California Japanese Sword Club is the oldest such organization in the United States. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco, the club really took off in the 1950s with the publication of The Samurai Sword, a handbook, by our sensei, John Masayuki Yumoto. Born out of the Japanese. Today, we are a diverse group of Bay Area residents dedicated to the study and preservation of Japanese arms and armor. Born out of the Japanese. Since the earliest days of the festival, we have participated in the Cherry Blossom Festival with a display of Japanese swords. Born this year, we'd like to once again share with you special items drawn from our members' personal collections. Born out. The sword in Japan has a history going back more than 2,000 years. Born. The earliest form of the unique Japanese sword was called a tachi, a long sword for mounted warriors worn hanging from the waist. Born. Here is a tachi blade and its mounting from one of our members' personal collection. Born out of the Japanese American communities. Here we see the bare blade and a rubbing of the temper line. The blade itself is over 700 years old and in a state of incredible preservation. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco. The sword that everyone knows from movies and anime is of course the katana or uchigatana. Born out of. The katana was worn inserted in the belt, edge upward. Here we see a katana blade and its mounts. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco. The katana was the everyday weapon of a samurai for more than 500 years. Born out of the Japanese American. As time progressed, styles changed and each era had its famous sword makers. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco and Oakland, our study focuses a great deal on how to recognize these different styles and appreciate the work of the famous masters. Born out of the Japanese American communities of. As many of you will know, the samurai came to be recognized by his pair of swords, the katana and wakizashi. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco, the pair of long and short swords was known as a daisho. Born out of the Japanese American communities, the wakizashi was a shorter version of the katana, suitable for use indoors where space may have been limited. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco. At other times, the samurai may have worn a simple dagger or tanto. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco and Oakland, many famous makers were known to produce tanto. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco and Oakland, the Northern California Japanese. Here we see all the parts of a sword mounting, or koshirai. The individual parts were often made by different artists, sometimes from the same school, sometimes collected according to the taste of the owner. From left to right, we see kashira, skaito, same, menuki, mekugi, fuchi, tsuba, kogai, kurikata, sageo, saguri or kaishizuno, and kojiri. Born out of the Japanese American community, these smaller pieces, kodogu, show a wide variety of artistic skill and ingenuity. For this reason, there are collectors who only collect kodogu. Born out of the Japanese American community. Here is a group of early iron tsuba, or sword guards. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco and Oakland. As time progressed, artists became more skillful, and the use of precious metals such as gold and silver became widely used. Born out of the Japanese American. Here we see fuchi and kashira that taps the handle. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco, these menuki would be seen under the silk wrap of the handle. Born out of the Japanese American communities of San Francisco. This shows the placement of the fuchi, kashira, and menuki. Born out of the Japanese American communities. Of course, there's more to the study than just swords. We also study Japanese armor. Born out of the. Also matchlock guns and other arts related to samurai life and history. Born. Our monthly meetings always feature show and tell items like those items we have seen here today. Born out of. We meet in Japantown the third Sunday of every month at the Japanese Cultural and Community Center of Northern California, 1840 Sutter Street. Born out of the. Each month, we cover a different period in Japanese history or specific subject from the world of the Japanese sword. Born out of the Japanese. You do not have to be a member to attend. We hope you will join us. Please visit our website for more information, www.ncjsc.org. Born out. Besides the Cherry Blossom Festival, the other big event in our calendar year is the annual Token Taikai, Japanese sword show and sale. The show is held the first weekend in August in Burlingame. Again, please visit our website for details, www.ncjsc.org. Born out of the Japanese American. Thank you to the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival for inviting us to participate this year and every year.
And that was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much to the Northern California Japanese Sword Club. I mean, you see them in the movies, but those are the real things. So we appreciate your sharing your expertise with us. We'd like to give a shout out to William, who's joining us from right here in San Francisco. Thank you. And also a Sonic Tonic, who is on YouTube and writes, hopefully next year we'll all be back together, and certainly we agree with you there. So thank you for joining us in whatever way is easiest for you here in our virtual masked and socially distanced Cherry Blossom Festival. We'd like to go on now to look at another aspect of the Japantown community, and that's the Buddhist Church of San Francisco. It's a Buddhist temple that's founded in the Jodo Shinshu school of Pure Land Buddhism, the Mahayana school. And the church was established in Japantown back in 1898. That is some long history here in San Francisco. It initially served Japanese and Japanese Americans in the San Francisco Bay Area, and today, while continuing to honor its Japanese heritage, the Buddhist Church of San Francisco celebrates its welcoming spirit as a multi-ethnic, multicultural, and multi-generational community inspired by the teachings of Shinran. So now, the Buddhist Church of San Francisco.
Hello, I'm Reverend Henry Adams, Supervising Minister for the Buddhist Church of San Francisco. Our Sangha is truly honored to participate in this year's 2021 Cherry Blossom Festival virtual event. The cherry blossom is celebrated in our Buddhist tradition for its beauty and also because it teaches us the truth of impermanence. The cherry blossom is not able to be enjoyed throughout the year, but must be savored in that brief period of time in the springtime when it blooms. Likewise, our lives pass quickly, and we must cherish each moment in each encounter that we have. We hope that you'll enjoy this presentation from our Buddhist Church of San Francisco community, and we wish you the best for a safe and enjoyable Cherry Blossom Festival.
Hey everyone, we're Jiten Daiko. Hope you've all been healthy during the shelter in place. And what we've been doing is finding ways to practice together virtually.
Happy Cherry Blossom Festival.
Hello, we are the Junior Young Buddhist Association, otherwise known as Junior RBA. Our group has kids from 8th grade to 12th grade, and we engage in community service and workshops. We learn about Buddhism, so if this sounds like something you're interested in, come join us. And we just want to wish you all a happy Cherry Blossom Festival.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We all talk and all and
also with the BCSF Board of Directors. This past year has been an adjustment, but also a great learning and growing experience. The board continues to meet virtually every month, and we are so grateful for the technology that allows us to do so, just as we're grateful for the ability to participate in this virtual Cherry Blossom Festival. I personally will miss marching in the parade this year, but look forward to celebrating the festival virtually with all of you, and look forward to next year when we can hopefully be all together in person again.
Hi, I'm Audrey, leader for Girl Scout Daisy Troop 61522. Our troop first formed last fall, and since then, the girls have been busy working on earning their Daisy Petal badges. Activities include making holiday cards for seniors, pencil holders out of recycled materials, and paper crowns that remind us the importance of being courageous and strong. More recently, the girls have been selling Girl Scout cookies, which has taught the girls about goal setting, saving money, and collective decision making.
Hello, we are Girl Scout Troop 32678, and this past year we have been busy.
Hi, my name is Emma, and this past year I've been volunteering at the food bank.
Hi, my name is Chloe, and during quarantine I went on bike rides and I hosted a Girl Scout meeting.
Hi, I'm Paige, and I've been busy planting in the garden. These are some seeds that I planted 2 weeks ago. These are peas, carrots, and butter lettuce.
Hello, I'm Lauren, and this past year I have been cooking with the Girl Scouts, volunteering at the food bank, and I marched at the virtual St. Patrick's Day parade.
Hi, this year I learned to roller skate and happy cherry blossom, and I really hope to see everyone healthy and safe soon.
Hello everyone! The Girl Scouts of the Buddhist Church of San Francisco would like to wish everyone a happy Cherry Blossom Festival. Our group has been participating in the festival for decades with girls of all ages from daisies to ambassadors. Girl Scouts helps develop courage and confidence while trying to make the world a better place. We hope to see you in person next year.
Greetings from Troop 29 and have a happy Cherry Blossom Festival.
So wonderful to have the Buddhist Churches of San Francisco joining us. And if you want to get some more information, please visit our website or the website of Buddhist Church of San Francisco, all one word, .org. Well, we also like to thank Calvin, Sean, and Usa Shoyukai for joining in on any of our platforms, YouTube, Facebook, or Zoom. Welcome. We're so glad that the technology is bringing you here to our virtual Japantown Festival. We do want to move on now to another wonderful institution, wonderful group here in San Francisco, the Rosa Parks Japanese Bilingual Bicultural Program. It's a really unique public elementary school program that integrates the authentic instruction and experiences in Japanese language and culture with San Francisco Unified School District's daily core curriculum. So in partnership with the Japanese American community, San Francisco's first elected Board of Education established the program in 1973, really as a way to help preserve and share the legacy of Japanese Americans and Japanese language and culture with future generations of San Franciscans. It is a product of the civil rights and the Asian American movements of the time. And the program was founded through a grassroots effort by a core group of 8 dedicated parents and community leaders who were really interested in regaining for their children the cultural identity that had been lost in the aftermath of the forced incarceration of Japanese Americans during World War II by the American government. And language instruction by native Japanese-speaking teachers was put into the context of authentic cultural experiences, as well as access to the program by any interested elementary school student in the entire district. Those were the defining priorities of the Japanese bilingual bicultural program. So now, Rosa Parks Elementary School's bicultural, bilingual program.
Good afternoon. We are Rosa Parks Japanese Bilingual Bicultural Program, JBBP.
皆さんこんにちは。私たちは日本町にあるローザパークス小学校です。
San Francisco's children have been learning Japanese language and culture at JBBP for 48 years.
JBBP はサンフランシスコの子どもたちに日本語と文化を教えて48年目を迎えます。
日本町にあるローザパーク小学校は公立の学校です。
Rosa Parks is a diverse public elementary school in Japantown. いろいろな国のバックグラウンドを持つ子どもたちが通っています。
We have lots of events. JBBP にはいろいろな行事があります。
運動会、学芸会、お正月、ひな祭り、桜祭り、子どもの日、そしてお別れ式など。
We have 運動会、学芸会、お正月、ひな祭り、桜祭り、子どもの日、and お別れ式。僕は桜祭りを好きです。僕は学芸会が好きです。私はお正月が好きです。
We have Roger Taiso, Zumba, Cha-Cha Slide every morning all together. そして毎朝ラジオ体操、Zumba や
We always enjoy Japanese food. 私は餅が大好きです。
I love mochi.
I love to eat ozoni soup in お正月。私はお正月のお雑煮が好きです。
I like きなこ餅。僕はきなこ餅が好きです。
いなり寿司 is delicious. いなり寿司はとても美味しいです。
Japanese food is so healthy and delicious. 日本の食べ物はとても健康で美味しいです。
These are the 学芸会 highlights.
これは学芸会のハイライトです。
This kindergarten performance is a tribute to Yasukochi Sweet Stop, a beloved SF Japantown heritage visit.
今の4年生が幼稚園生だった時、お菓子が大好きを歌って踊りました。
It begins with a video interview with Moses Yasukochi, and then students sing and dance お菓子が大好き I love sweets.
そして安子一スイートストップでインタビューをしました。
Come December 17th, we will start our 43rd year.
What are you best about ordering pizza?
Well, I'm my own boss. And if I make a mistake, it's on me, nobody else but me.
When are you going to stop baking?
I'm about ready to retire. My grandson is working for me. He's been working for me for about 2.5 years. He's not quite ready to take over the business, but next year in 2017, I hope that I could take it a little bit more easier and put more load on him.
Mr. Moses, which kind of cake do you like to make?
Coffee crunch. I don't eat too much cake.
Thank you, Mr. Moses.
This is our all-time favorite performance that we did in 3rd grade.
We sang and danced to This Is Me from The Greatest Showman.
We played recorders and handbells and did cartwheels.
This is me を歌って踊りました。そしてリコーダーとハンドベルを演奏し側転もしました。
I'm not a stranger to
We have Nihongo classes every day from kindergarten to 5th grade. 日本語のクラスが毎日あります。日本語の授業は楽しいです。
I like to study Nihongo. I like to do origami and a lot of art in class. Origami wa tanoshii desu.
日本語を話せるのが楽しいです。日本から来た生徒とアメリカに住んでいる生徒と一緒に勉強します。とても楽しい学校です。
We love JBBP.
JBBP 大好き。
And our thanks to Rosa Parks' Japanese bilingual bicultural program for giving us a little bit of that peek back in time to 2016, 2018, before the pandemic and wearing masks and social distancing. You could see the vibrancy and the energy in those programs. And certainly the students, the teachers, and the parents, they put their all into the performances for the Grand Parade. And you see them marching through Japantown. So thank you so much to the students. Otsukare-sama deshita. And we're looking forward to hopefully seeing you in person next year at the festival. Well, we want to move on now to the Hokka Nichibei Kai, which is also known as the Japanese American Association of Northern California, or JAANC. It was established in 1895, and that makes it the oldest Japanese American community organization here in the area. The organization was created to form better relations between America and Japan, as well as the American and Japanese nationals who were here in the Bay Area early on. And for more than 100 years now, the JAANC has continuously worked to better the relations between Japanese Americans and the general public, as well as Japan and America, building bridges. So helping to resolve problems for the people who are primarily Japanese speaking and those in the community, they are continuing a number of programs at the JAANC. They are proud to showcase their Japanese tea room, Kanso-an, which is located here in San Francisco's Japantown. So take a look.
Welcome to Hokka Nichibei Kai presentation. You may recognize us as one of the food vendors on Webster Street at Cherry Blossom Festivals. We do that for sure, but we also host tea ceremonies at our beautiful tea room, Kanso-an. We would like to talk about the history of our proud tea room, Kanso-an. It is the first authentic Japanese tea room which can be used by all of tea schools, for the public in the USA, and let us share how it started. This picture was taken at the opening ceremony of Kanso-an back in 1984. It's designed by Dr. Nakamura, who is the undisputed specialist of tea room design, and built by Yasuimoku Company, which is also the expert tea room builder in Kyoto. The origin group of Hokka Nichibei Kai formed in 1893 to support the first generation of Japanese immigrants. Our function extended to cover various areas as there were not many groups back then to support Japanese American community. According to the book written by Kiyoshi Yasui of Yasuimoku Company, the idea of building the authentic Japanese tea room for the general public in San Francisco was first conceived in 1979 as the project to regroup and rebuild Japanese American community after returning from the internment camps. So in 1983, Yasuimoku Company started building the parts of the tea room in Kyoto. Then 4 of the master carpenters from the company called Takumi came to San Francisco to assemble them on the third floor of Nichibei Kaikan on Sutter Street with Japanese traditional method, which requires no nails to put the buildings together. In 2015, we celebrated the 30th anniversary, and since then, we are maintaining the beauty of the tea room with recent renovations, including walls and shoji screens repaired, fresh tatamis and carpets installed to welcome more people when we are reopened. So, as the special presentation today, we are taking you on an exclusive virtual tour of Kansoan. Hope you enjoy. So you reach the third floor of Nichibei Kaikan, and now you are at the entrance of Kansoan. You see the name on the plaque at the top of the gate. You open the gate, and now you are inside of Kansoan. It's composed of 3 areas or rooms. The area in front of us is for people to join the tea ceremony while sitting in chairs. The largest room that you see in front of you is named Rinwa-ken, which can host about 14 people at the time. Let's admire the simplistic beauty of the tea room and renovated walls and fresh tatami mats. Now we are taking this hallway down to more intimate one-to-one tea session room named Jikishin-an. There's a little kitchen area where we have the water faucet. And now we are inside of Jikishin-an. The little opening you see at the in front is actually the entrance to this room. You can see many exquisite craftsmanship everywhere in the tea room actually. The chashitsu, the tea room, is purposefully made small for intimacy. Light is controlled by the careful placement of windows and doors. Ornamentation is kept simple as seasonal. Only natural materials, often unfinished or asymmetric, are used in construction in keeping with the teaching of Senno Rikyu, who was the great founder of tea ceremony, that the beauty of nature and simplicity be always observed. All of the traditional elements are present in the tea house of the Hokka Nichibei-kai in Japantown, San Francisco. We're back to the Rinwa-ken area. And by the way, this tea room is actually available to rent for members. Now we are taking you to the back rooms of tea ceremony rooms, which you don't usually see. The kitchen area. This is the same faucet type of setting. And sink. This is where all the teas and sometimes light snacks are prepared. Dr. Nakamura, who designed this tea room, sent a message for the celebration of 30th anniversary. And in that message, he said that plaques inscribed with the name of the tea rooms are handwritten by the abbot of the Kenninji Temple in Kyoto. And Kenninji Temple is the place where the concept of chanoyu came from. So Dr. Nakamura was saying how having these plaques in the tea rooms is connecting the kansoan to the history of chanoyu. Like I mentioned before, this is the very small entrance to Jikishin-an. It's like a building within a building. There's a plaque for Jikishin-an. And you see all the raw and natural materials. And that's our special virtual tour.
北海日米会会長の三浦です。当館にあるお茶室乾燥庵の修復工事が終わり、素晴らしいお茶室に生まれ変わりました。例年なら桜祭りお茶会が開催されますが、今年もコロナのため中止となっております。しかし一般の方も気軽にお茶を楽しめるよう企画もございます。今は閉館しておりますが、開館の際にはぜひお立ち寄りください。またイベントやミーティングのルームの貸し出しも行っております。それもご利用ください。よろしくお願いします。
And that concludes our presentation of the history of Kansoan, the first authentic Japanese tea room for the public in the USA by Hokka Nichibeikai. If you're interested in learning more about Kansoan or Hokka Nichibeikai, please scan the QR code you see in the screen to visit our website or email us at hokkanichibeikai@yahoo.com. Thank you so much for being with us for the presentation. Hope you learned something and enjoyed our virtual tour of Kansoan. Enjoy the rest of the festival and see you next year.
Wow, such a rich history and a beautiful tea room. I hope that you are able to join us with the tea ceremony next year at the festival in 2022. That was the Hokka Nichibeikai. Now we'd like to go to the Chado Urasankei Tankokai San Francisco Association.
Tea ceremony protocol is neither manners nor a simple etiquette. It brings you into a profound world. In today's divided world, we want the place where everyone can live together and respect each other in harmony and peace.
My name is Kazuko Kobara, and my tea name is Soko. In 1951, I met Soko Sen, who became later a Grand Tea Master. He is the one that the first time he came to the United States, and he told me his hope of the world peace through a bowl of tea. Well, anyway, I met him in 1951, and then 3 years later, I married my husband, and who is going to be the Buddhist Church of San Francisco head minister. He was only 29 years old, so we moved after I married. 3 months later, we came to San Francisco. Then first, welcome party. My husband did a sermon, and after that, congregation, 4 ladies came to me and asked me if I do the tea. And I said, oh yeah, I used to learn urasenke. Please come to my house and we'll serve you tea. Then Oyamoto heard about it, just drinking tea together and then talk about the tea ceremony things. Then they said they will send teachers to San Francisco, and then we studied. I was doing it, and then so people start coming, and then with my husband and I, and with 8 other ladies, we are doing the tea. Then Oyamoto heard about it. Tantansa is a 14th tea master, came to San Francisco, and then named it chapter, San Francisco Urasenke chapter. This is wa, ke, sei, jaku. This one, we always, this 4 principle kept. So that's why it's grew like this.
My name is Rumi Kobara. My tea name is Soru. And we grew up in this house with my mom teaching tea ceremony. When we were growing up, my mother was teaching tea a lot. She was either teaching at the house or she was driving off to San Mateo or Fairfield or San Jose and teaching. Learning the tea ceremony was difficult, but rewarding at the end. So it's not just getting together and making tea. The hostess who's doing the tea puts a lot of importance in how to set up the tea room so that the guests who are coming are very comfortable and feels like they are coming to a place that has been designed especially for them. Through tea ceremony, I also learned about Japanese culture, Japanese art, so that I have friends who are from Japan who tell me that I'm more Japanese than they are. I have grown to appreciate all that my family has given to me. My father has given me the wisdom and compassion from Buddhism. My mother has given me the culture and the education of the tea ceremony. So I feel that I am a good representation of Japanese in America.
My name is Larry Tiscornia, and my professional tea name is Sokyo, which means a bridge. I got that when I returned from Kyoto in 1985 from the now retired head tea master Honsai Daisosho. And he felt that I was coming back to San Francisco so I could help bridge the gap between America and Japan. And then found out about Japanese Chanayu or tea ceremony. There was a small store in San Francisco, Japantown called Honami. And then one day I was looking at some of the books on a bookshelf, and there were all these men doing the tea ceremony. And I inquired about it, and she said, well, these are study books from the headquarters of Urasenke in Kyoto. And so I said, I'd like to study this. Can I do that in San Francisco? And then she introduced me to Kobara Soko sensei, who was my first teacher back in 1976. And then it all moved forward from there. After 3 years studying in San Francisco on a weekly basis, I received a scholarship to go to the Urasenke headquarters in Kyoto. Well, I didn't really know that I wanted to be a tea sensei or a tea teacher. And it was only after I began studying and training in Kyoto that I saw a new path in my life, and that was to someday hopefully teach others what I had learned. And some of my teachers in Kyoto said, you have to know everything to be a good tea teacher. Meaning that you have to continue to study. So, some people wouldn't call me a gentle teacher, but you know, tea really needs to be learned. It's orally transmitted from teacher to student. That's the best way. And then by repetition, the students will embrace that learning and hopefully not think too much and just free themselves so they can interact with the guest. But each student, you know, you treat it a little differently knowing their personality. And tea has become much more popular, not only in San Francisco but all over the world. And so, you know, as a group we've grown also. More people are teaching and spreading tea and learning more how to work together to, you know, do these tea events, so it's kind of nice. If you look at San Francisco Tankokai as a whole, yeah, it just, the students are from all areas of life, both professional and not. A lot of our students have found us just as a way to experience Japanese culture. We have a lot of students that are designers and IT people, and it's also a way to wind down every week for a couple of hours. And it's kind of a nice relaxing experience, even though you're being taught. And the age group, our students are anywhere from 24 to 70 plus. And it might not be the whole world, but in small groups, yeah, people will feel the peacefulness from just drinking a bowl of green tea.
My name is Kimika Takechi. I'm the full-time tea ceremony teacher. Their life is more enjoyable or open, and they think other people more than that themselves. And then through the doing it, also we learn more too. And then we have to think it. So always keep learning and then trying and then doing. It makes it grow and fun too. So we open to that available for anybody who is interested in making matcha tea ceremony tea. Always say that. And then just make one bowl of tea makes anybody in the world, anybody be happy.
I'm Catherine Pancios, and I've been studying Ura-Senkei tea for a little over 20 years now. Many years ago, I worked for a Japanese chef, and that's really what started my interest in Japanese culture. In tea, you learn to be very open and accepting, and you don't question so much or argue as much. It's all very humbling because I'm not Japanese, so I don't speak Japanese, and I know there's a certain level, a certain depth that, you know, I can never attain. On the other hand, I realize that there's so much that I can understand and that I can do and that I can get out of tea. A lot of times people will say, well, when are you going to be finished studying tea? And the realization you have is that you don't finish studying tea. It's a lifelong practice.
My name is Ikuko Kobayashi, art director and the designer at Emotion Studios. Lots of people actually ask me, you know, about the Japan a lot, but I just realized I don't know about the Japan a lot. So one day my friend, who are a former student here at this Kimika Sensei's, Rari Sensei's, she asked me to come over because it's really fun to do tea ceremony, and I have no idea what that tea ceremony was, but at the time. But then I decided maybe I can learn so I can still connect it myself to my background, Japanese culture. So I came here for it's just an experience, and I enjoy it. So I decided to join to be a student. Yes, it is like all this, you know, form and then how, you know, make smoother, but it's more for me is more inside you have to know what's going on around you. It's not just only you focusing on to making the tea, to know, what your guest's doing and when the good timing for serve the tea. And so it's kind of like you have to aware for surround you instead of just making the beautiful form of the tea. So that part is I learned from this tea ceremony practice I've been doing.
I don't know the exact amount of time my mother was involved. I think that it really gave her peace of mind. Raising 3 kids in the United States post-World War II, there's a discrimination. I think the tea ceremony and she was also involved with Ikebana, gave her an outlet to appreciate and study the Japanese culture again, and so that she can get away from the hustle and bustle of American life. Like I said, over the 3 years that I've been involved, I'm beginning to get used to it. I appreciate it more. I observe all the subtle movements and the conversation, the beauty of the scrolls, the flowers, the taste of the tea, the mogashi. Everything is just so subtle, but so beautiful.
Such a wonderful window into this world of tea. Many people see matcha on all kinds of things now, but this really shows the blending of the presentations of the Hokka Nichibei Kai's Kansoan and the Chado, the way of tea. Documentary filmed by our own festival co-chair, Greg Villoria. And it really is a documentary that's produced by the Chado Urasenkei Tanko Kai San Francisco Association that really brings a deeper understanding and appreciation of the tea ceremony. If you are interested or like more information about the Urasenkei Foundation, please visit their website at urasenkei, urasenke.org. Also, our tech people are putting it into the chat so you can learn more, and hopefully that piques your interest and your taste buds for the traditional way of serving tea. We'd like to go now to the Matsutoyo Kai Japanese folk music and dance. That was established in Northern California by Matsutoyo Sato in 1966 and was based in the San Francisco Bay Area. Well, in 1976, Matsutoyo moved to the Los Angeles area, and in 2006, Matsutoyo Kai became a nonprofit organization. Matsutoyo Kai passes on the traditional music of Japan by providing instruction in singing, shamisen, taiko, and kane, and performs their Japanese folk and classical music. With Matsutoyo Sato as artistic director, they'll continue to expand Matsutoyo Kai, keeping this rare art of Japanese history alive. Now, they performed the Yakko-san Fukugawa last week and will be performing Mugiya Bushi, a song from the Mugiya Toyama Prefecture, and Owase Bushi, a song from the Owase Mie Prefecture today. So please, maybe stand up, kick off your shoes, and welcome the Matsutoyo Kai Japanese folk music and dance group. Okay, now I don't know about you at home, but I have to admit I was definitely moving my feet during that last one. So thank you so much to Matsutoyo Kai, Japanese folk music and dance, for sharing the video of your wonderful, wonderful dances. Well, in 1932, the Sokoji Soto Zen Mission of San Francisco was founded by Reverend Hosen Isobe and Japanese Americans within San Francisco. It was located at the Bush Street Synagogue at 1881 Bush Street. Now, in 1984, the mission had built and moved into their current location, which is at 1691 Laguna Street. They now are celebrating their 89th year, and they house many organizations and religious cultural events, including the Shorinji Kempo San Francisco branch. So the Sokoji Soto Mission of San Francisco.
Hello, everyone. I would like to share some information about the Soto Mission of San Francisco, known as Sokoji. Sokoji is a Zen Buddhist temple located in Japantown. We have been in Japantown for over 85 years, starting with our first temple on Bush and Laguna, which now houses the Kokoro Assisted Living Organization. Sokoji was founded under the leadership of Reverend Hosen Isobe and many Issei families who pooled their money together to create our temple. We moved to our current location at the corner of Laguna and Sutter in 1984 and welcome all of you to visit us and learn more about Zen Buddhism. One of the regular activities we offer is Zazen meditation. Classes are held several times a week where students receive a holistic education on meditation and other aspects of Zen practice. Vegan cooking classes are also offered on our YouTube channel. Sokoji also holds monthly memorial services to pray for the ancestors of our members. An annual Obon service and Higan services are also offered in addition to the 3 anniversaries of Shakyamuni Buddha: Buddha's birthday, the day of Buddha's enlightenment, and day of Buddha's attainment of nirvana. There are also special events we hold during certain times of the year. On New Year's Eve, we hold a traditional bell ringing event called Joya no Kane, where many participants ring the temple bell to purify ourselves and welcome in the new year. We have a Buddhist singing and bell ringing class called Goeka and a sutra writing class called Shiakyo each month. Sokoji also supports many activities that promote and preserve the Japanese culture and tradition. There is a New Year's Day prayer service on January 1st, where we pray for peace, health, and happiness for the new year, where people can purchase amulets, prayer tablets, and fortune slips. There is a Setsubun festival in February, which is followed by a lively soybean throwing ceremony to ward off evil spirits and enjoy the Japanese Kansai tradition of ehomaki for lunch. There is the Shichigo-san festival we hold in November to celebrate the rite of passage for children reaching the ages of 3, 5, and 7. There is a service offered throughout the year to pray for good riddance, new babies, and safe births. And a new Sokoji event was added 2 years ago called Toro Nagashi, Floating Lantern Festival, during the Obon season. A mochi pounding event with a fun crowd, including many children, ends our year of activities, where over 350 pounds of mochi are made in just one day. Like many of the organizations that participate in the Sakura Matsuri Festival, our biggest fundraiser takes place at this time. We have been selling out our famous and very popular takoyaki at the Cherry Blossom Festival for many decades with the help of many of our volunteers. We are grateful that Sokoji has always been a participant in Japantown, not only as a temple, but also as a spiritual home for the Japanese and Nikkei community. Like many businesses and organizations, we are currently going through a difficult time, but we will continue to do our best to keep the temple alive and active for the Japanese and Nikkei community, Zen seekers, and all that are interested in learning about Japanese culture and traditions. please visit our website where you can learn more about us, our activities, and even what is available for purchase. Our website is www.sokoji.org. Thank you, and gasho.
we hope you enjoyed that demonstration of Shorinji Kempo, a martial art that's based on the concept of integrating the body and the spirit into a system of self-defense techniques with mental training to promote health. The Japanese martial artist Doshin So developed this martial art in 1947 to help individuals develop self-confidence, courage, and a spirit of compassion. And for more information about Sokoji, their events, or to purchase their merchandise to help support their events, please visit their website at sokoji.org, SOKOJI.org. You can also see it in the chat function. So we want to also give you another website, the sfshorinjikempo.com. That is another resource for somebody who, if you saw it just now and you think, oh, I want to give that a try, they would welcome you to reach out to them at their website. Well, now we have the San Francisco Koto Group's performance from the Japan Day Festival, which was a virtual event that took place on Thursday, August 27th of 2020. And the title of this piece is Hana Ikada, Flower Raft. It was composed by Tadao Sawai, recognized as the greatest composer and performer for the koto of the late 20th century. Sawai had a very keen musical sense and a talent for bringing this instrument to life. The piece is inspired by a flower raft coursing down the river, pausing at the water's edge, and then streaming down again rapidly to come to a standstill in a quiet eddy. On Koto 1, we have Chie Cheng and Mamiko Taniguchi, and on Koto 2, we have Shoko Hikage. San Francisco Koto Group, Hana Ikada. We have been sharing our koto music with residents of nursing homes, patients in hospitals, and library audiences in the San Francisco Bay Area, and they say they enjoy being able to share their koto performance with them. We're so grateful to have them performing with us today. And we hope you are welcoming this day 3 of the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival. We want to let you know that in the chat right now, our tech team is putting in a survey, and we would love it if you would click on it, go in, tell us your thoughts about this year's virtual festival. We are so glad that you have been able to join us, not just for this day, but the previous 2 days and hopefully tomorrow, and welcome any comments or thoughts that you have about this event. So please take a look in the chat as we continue with the rest of the program. And for our final number today, we have The Sound Project. Now, this is a Japanese music band made up by all who are originally from Japan and located in the South Bay, performing Coffee Rumba, Glamorous Sky, Atsukunare. Please welcome The Sound Project.
昔アラブの偉いお坊さんが恋を忘れた哀れな男にしびれるような香りいっぱいの琥珀色した飲み物を教えてあげました。やがて心をウキウキとっても不思議このムードたちまち男は若い娘に恋をした今がマラカス楽しいルンバのリズム南の国の情熱のアロマそれは素敵な飲み物コーヒーもかまったりみんな陽気に飲んで踊ろうマイのコーヒールンバ昔アラブの偉いお坊さんが恋を忘れた哀れな男にしびれるような香りいっぱいの琥珀色した飲み物を教えてあげましたやがて心ウキウキとっても不思議このムードたちまち男は若い娘に恋をした今がマラカス楽しいルンバのリズム南の国の情熱のアロマそれは素敵な飲み物コーヒーもかまったりみんな陽気に飲んで踊ろうマイのコーヒールンバみんな陽気に飲んで踊ろうマイのコーヒールンバみんな陽気に飲んで踊ろうマイのコーヒー 開け放した窓に回るランプのリップスカイ青で繰り返す日々に何の意味があるの叫んで飛び出すと履き潰したロックダウンシュー跳ね上げるカートンブルーフラッシュバック君はクライバー I remember あの日を渡ってあの朝に帰りたいあの夢を並べて歌い張る We the glamorous days開け放した愛に何の価値もないの嘆いて吐き出すと飲み干してロックアンドロール出来上がるバットンユーフラッシュバック君のフレーバー I remember あの橋を集めてこの胸に飾りたいあの夢をつないで歌い踊ろう Glamorous days Glamorous days 眠れないよSunday, Monday いなつは Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 雪花 Friday, Saturday 七色 Everyday 闇雲消えるブルー答えで僕を声にあの雲を払って君の未来照らしたいこの夢を抱えて飛び歩くよ Glorious days あの虹を渡ってあの朝に帰りたいあの夢を並べて歌い張る We the glamorous days Glamorous sky まっすぐに今その胸にもっともっと Everybody go, everybody go, everybody go Fly away You wanna change, you wanna change Change, here we go 道を歩いて公園またいで帰るだけなのになんだか妙に虚しくなるのはあなたに会えないそれだけだろうか未来が見えないと不安になるけどくっきり見えると怖くなる I know You know これこそはと信じられる何かを探していたからの正義が社会を救えないなら愛しかないでしょうシャイマライ壊してしまう心を邪魔するものもできるない汚れのないあなたと生きてゆきたい二度ともう迷わないこれから全部始めようご立派な人生などいらない自由に思いのままに本気で生きてみたいだから今シャリマライ時間を超えてこの想いあなたに届け裏切れたい言葉よりもまっすぐに今その胸にもっと熱くなれ Everybody go, everybody go Fly away Do you wanna change, do you wanna change Changing, here we go
And bravo to the sound project. That last number, a special collaboration with vocalist Ikumi. And we certainly hope that you enjoyed it at home there as much as we did here with our crew. We do want to mention that this virtual festival could not have been done without very generous financial support from the Grant for the Arts, the Henry and Tomoe Takahashi Charitable Foundation, the Japantown Foundation, and all the other people who are here supporting. Thank you so much for being here. I want to give a shout out to the crew, Ryan, Maddie, Mickey, and Greg, who are here with me masked, socially distant, but definitely together in heart. And I think that is one of the things that we have been experiencing through this very difficult year is just how much heart people have. So thank all of you for joining us in whatever platform for however long you did today. We are going to be back again tomorrow. So the 54th Annual Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival will have its final day of entertainment and a special Q&A section that we're going to do with the Northern California Cherry Blossom Queen and Court. So thank you all for spending a little bit of this wonderful Saturday afternoon with us. Arigatou gozaimashita. 本当にどうも。また明日ね。We thank you so much and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.